This week, Dick and Jem take on their most bizarre challenge yet.
Look at that. This is ace.
They plan to run a pickup truck using a very unlikely fuel source. They've teamed up with a band of environmentalists who are trying to cut inner city air pollution.
Look at the hydrocarbons. Wow.
But will they see the wood through the trees? Or simply get lost in the urban jungle?
There's nothing under that tree.
Dick Strawbridge is an ex-army officer turned eco-warrior. Jem Stansfield is an inventor with a wild green streak. Two men on a mission to fix the world. One mechanical solution at a time. Together, they are the Planet Mechanics. Dick and Jem's latest mission has brought them to London. They've parked up their horsebox and have travelled to town on public transport. The Planet Mechanics don't want to add to the 260,000 vehicles that use London's roads every day. Most of these vehicles run on petrol or diesel, giving the capital some of the worst air quality in Europe. But this group of people are determined to fight back. They're tackling pollution by planting trees. Trees for Cities is a charity that aims to plant 1 million trees in time for the London Olympics in 2012. The reason is simple. Trees literally eat pollution. They absorb the major greenhouse gas CO2 and concentrate it into carbon, which is stored in roots, trunks and branches. But the operation depends on vehicles that run on fossil fuels. And now Chief Executive Graham Simmons wants to green up the motor pool. He's looking for a vehicle that truly represents the charity, something that instantly says, Trees for Cities. And that's where the Planet Mechanics come in.
Graham.
Yes.
Graham, good to see you.
Good to see you. Lovely to meet you, Dick. Lovely to meet you, Jem.
What can we do for you?
Well, we have a problem in that we are transporting lots of stuff around cities, trees and that, and we don't have a very green fleet. You know, we've got these diesel-powered trucks.
OK, and you want a green transport fleet that is in keeping with Trees for City?
Absolutely.
How long have we got?
Well, we've got a big event in Tower Hamlets Cemetery in about a week's time.
A week?
Is that
yeah, we can do that.
Is that doable?
1 week.
Fantastic.
Okay.
OK, bye-bye.
See you in a week.
Yeah, bye.
1 week.
Wood is waste. I don't know what it looked like to you, but it looks like to me he throws away fuel.
Yeah, wood. I was exactly the same thing. Wood is a really good fuel. So how are we going to use it? That's a big question.
Well, I used to work with a guy who built his own steam lorry.
Steam. It's grubby, it's dirty, and it's not very efficient. Are we going to actually have big clouds of smoke coming out of vehicles around London and say we're being greener?
But it works. It does actually work.
Here's one. Try this for size. I saw a picture years ago of a vehicle that turned wood into gas, and it used the gas to run the actual vehicle. They had no oil in the Second World War. They were using things like this. Cracking idea.
No, Dick, it sounds nothing but genius, but you saw a picture of it, whereas I've seen one that actually works, and it might be a little bit grubby, but it does work.
Sense of adventure, mate. All right, we don't actually know what we're doing. A little bit of detail. What you have to do, you have to trust me in this one, Jem. We can definitely...
Dick, I trust you, but we have one.
For the next 7 days, the Planet Mechanics will be based at this community farm on the edge of London. Dick's all worked up about building a car that runs on wood, but his first job is to fire up a very doubtful Jem.
You're saying that we should heat the wood, drive flammable gas off the wood, and then use that to run the car?
Yeah, it's a very simple principle. Match. We've got matches. Hold on. You actually have a look at this. Now look at that. If I just hold that there, right, when you see...
So the clear bit at the bottom, beneath the yellow flame, we're suggesting is the gas coming off the wood, and then it's igniting, and then you get your little sooty flame above it.
The yellow one is the incomplete combustion, isn't it? Won't burn myself there.
So we've got to catch that flammable gas, and then take that into the engine instead of petrol.
Yeah. No, it's good. Good. We want to have something that we put wood in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we heat it up, out of that comes gas.
Yes.
That gas that's coming out, it's going to be very dirty. It'll have lumps in it. First things first, we need to clean it. What we have to do is put in a filter.
Yeah.
Okay? We need to get rid of the lumps.
Yeah.
Then, still hot, we need to cool it. Best thing we can do then is put it into...
Cooler.
A radiator, yeah, of some description. Because over here, look, over here, we've got a car. We've got our vehicle. And the gas that comes out of there, we want to put into there.
I would describe that as totally brilliant, but slightly unlikely. But I couldn't be more with you, Dick. If you want to build one of those, I'm there. I couldn't be more behind you.
Running vehicles on wood gas might sound crazy, but there were over 1 million gasifiers in use during World War II. They were particularly common in Scandinavia, where oil was scarce but wood was plentiful. In peacetime, oil became readily available and wood power was abandoned and largely forgotten. Well, maybe. Until now. Dick and Jem have bought themselves an old pickup truck and loaded it up with a vast array of old boilers, cylinders and pipes. Somehow, they've got to turn all this into a vehicle fueled only by the combustion of waste wood. To do this in a clean, green way, they're building a gasifier. Incredibly, their system should convert the wood fire's smoke and fumes into a pure flammable gas that can power a standard car engine. Dick is feeling the pressure and is searching out some much-needed inspiration on the net. After a quick trawl, he's come up with a blueprint. But this plan does have one obvious drawback.
Have you spotted it yet?
Yes, the writing.
Yeah, it's Swedish. The chap who has made this, it works, you know, this works as a system, but,
There's a couple of things, Dick. It's got no dimensions on.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
I don't know whether that's actual size.
No,
or whether
it's
it needs
big.
to be... Right, OK.
So Dick and Jem have a plan in Swedish, a pickup truck and a pile of old junk. All they need to do now is to build a car that runs on wood. The Planet Mechanics have less than 6 days to make a wood gas pickup. And one half of the team is still in the dark.
Jem,
Yep.
I don't think you're overly convinced that we could get gas from wood, mate.
I think it's brilliant. It just seems a little bit unlikely.
But it's not that difficult. Look, here, watch this. It's a little cooking gas stove, a kettle full of wood. Yeah?
OK.
That's it.
If this works, Dick, I'm kind of halfway to believing the car might work. What happens next?
We wait for it to heat up and then gas will come off it. And then you will be able to light it. Well, it's pointing at you.
Is this going to be the same with the car, though? You have to, like, start it a day before you want to drive anywhere.
With a bit of luck, we might get a bit more heat than we're managing here.
Right.
I reckon we're nearly ready to try lighting that.
Yeah?
Hey! Look at that!
That's properly amazing. I'm a complete convert to wood gas now.
OK. That's a thing of beauty.
No, Dick, this is what we want.
Hey! Convinced?
I'm totally convinced now.
All we have to do is scale it up and run the car on it.
A kettle scaler. I've heard of them.
Dick's proved wood can produce gas. But powering a pickup truck will involve a whole load more than filling up a kettle. Day 2 and Dick and Jem are keen to get building. Trees for Cities are expecting the delivery of a green running machine for their big planting day at the weekend. First of all, they'll need to make the producer, a cylinder in which wood burns to produce the gas. Burning wood produces clouds of fine particles commonly called smoke. A filter is needed to get rid of this smoke by cleaning out particulates such as soot and ash. A radiator will cool down the gas, which could reach temperatures in excess of 700 degrees centigrade. Finally, before the gas enters the engine, it must go through a mixer ensuring the right balance of gas to air. This job is going to be a masterclass in recycling. This old water heater is being given a new lease of life. It will become the powerhouse of the system, the wood-burning producer.
The thing is, all that's going to have to come out. It's a good-sized fuel store.
Yes. Just not a good sized hole for it. Oh.
There must be something to do with that.
Fuel will be loaded through this hole, but the real action happens at the bottom of the cylinder, the burner. Wood is stored in the producer and a fire is lit in the combustion zone. The fire is fed by air drawn in through a series of intake nozzles, ensuring a circular, even burn. As the wood burns, the process of combustion converts it into charcoal, gas and smoke particles. When the pickup's engine is turned on, the superheated gases will be sucked out of the producer at high speed. Dick's making the burner from an old beer keg. He's cut out an access hatch in the burner to clear out waste ash. The charcoal will sit on this grate. He's fitted a handle to the outside of his beer keg burner. A quick turn will shake up the settled ash and should ensure a strong, steady, high-temperature burn.
This is the bottom bit's done, mate. This is where we can get rid of our ash. We can still take it out from there, so we can just keep it going continuous motion.
The guys take a break, and now it's Dick's turn to have doubts.
I'm really worried about the heat we're going to generate in the middle of this producer, and the metal we're using. It doesn't seem very thick.
Well, as long as we don't get the temperature up to the melting point of the steel, we should be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're sucking air over charcoal.
And that's how they used to melt steel in the first place. Yeah.
Right, I hadn't thought of it like that, but that is hot then, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. If it doesn't actually melt, but it just gets hot enough that it loses its strength, the whole thing starts falling apart anyway. The only thing I can think we can do is get the thickest, strongest steel we can find for making that central crucible in there and just kind of build it from there.
Dick's found the strongest piece of steel in the barn. This old oxygen cylinder is so tough, he's struggling to slice through it. But will it be able to take the heat of the combustion chamber? As the light fades on day 2, the work carries on at a furious pace in the barn. The guys are determined to press on and produce that gas producer.
Dick,
How are we doing?
so all the air nozzles. So we've got ourselves a combustion zone.
Right, it's the other way up.
Yep.
So all the wood drops into this area.
Yeah, and then where the air's coming in, that's where it burns in there.
Suck it in through here.
And if you've got the big bit.
So this is our heavy. This must be hot.
Yeah, so once the wood's burnt, then all the gases, the really hot gases come down here. This is the reduction zone where the high temperature chemistry takes place. Those hot gases then become flammable gases. Vroom, that drives the engine.
Gasifiers are highly efficient. Unlike steam engines, which waste energy up a chimney, they are sealed units which chemically process their own exhaust gases. Wood is a dense solid fuel which produces large volumes of carbon dioxide and water vapor when burnt. All this gas is sucked into the reduction zone, where it reacts with the high-temperature carbon of the charcoal. This reaction reduces the number of oxygen atoms in the CO2 and H2O and produces 2 new highly flammable gases, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. The 2 sections of the producer are finished.
Hands out.
My hands are out.
It's time to snap together Jem's recycled immersion heater and Dick's beer keg burner.
Jem, that is positively Frankenstein.
It's day 3. The gas producer is finished and the Planet mechanics are ready to tackle stage 2 of their wood-burning car, the filtration system. The gas leaving the producer is still very smoky and contains impurities that need to be cleaned out before running into the engine. But with a temperature in excess of 700 degrees centigrade, this superheated gas will quickly burn out most filters. But Jem thinks he may have a solution. a filter that doesn't need filter material. It works just like a cyclone vacuum cleaner.
Amazing as it may seem, this
It
appears
is.
to be all there is to cyclone filtering.
That is so simple. I'll take it this is representing the suck of the engine.
Yeah, so this little fan here sucks air up and blows it out there.
Yep.
And then dirty gas can come in, swirled round, heavy particles flung to the edge and drop out into the collector.
So that's just the same as a vacuum cleaner, basically.
Yeah.
And a big pile of...
Give it a go.
Come
give it a
on.
go. Connect it up.
Right, here we go.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
And I'm going to... Oh, hey, dirt.
Feed it in.
You want me to feed some dirt in?
Yeah.
Is it running? It's going.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Look at that.
That is... Where? You can see the cyclone.
Yeah.
That's
And
impressive.
look at it collected in the bottom there.
How much is coming out the other end? Not a lot. No, don't do that, Jem.
No, it is that there's tiny weeny particles that make it through.
But that's really efficient considering all it is this is the equivalent of our engine sucking.
The gas will enter the cylinder and be forced downwards in a spinning motion. Centrifugal force will push the heavier ash and soot to the sides of the cylinder. While the impurities fall to the bottom of the cylinder, the clean gas, now minus the smoke particles, rises and is sucked through the system towards the engine.
Right, we have got a problem, of course.
Which is?
Material and the strength. We've got 700-degree gases being sucked in here.
You don't think this will do it? No, but all we need to do is replicate pretty much this in steel, slightly bigger.
We like that. We don't even need that.
No, we don't. We lose that.
That's a very simple system, mate.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Out of metal. Let's go find some metal bits.
Jem gets to work on an old fire extinguisher to make up the cyclone filter chamber. Dick is sorting out pipes to lead gas in and out of the filter and a simple dispenser to funnel off the waste.
Ready for this?
Yes.
Right, where's all the bits?
Right, that's our ash collector.
Aschenbecker, I think it is.
Yes. There we go.
All right. Spins around.
So, yeah, hot gas in there.
Yeah.
Cyclone. All the dust gets shaken out and down the bottom there. And the beautiful, clean, flammable gas comes out the top.
up the inside of the cyclone.
Yeah.
That's nice and strong, is it?
It looks really good in there. They're so simple.
The filtered gas is still very hot, and now it needs to be cooled down by running it through a radiator. When gas heats up, it expands, and the molecules are spread out thinly over a greater volume. If the gas is cooled, it will contract, and the molecules will be much more concentrated. The greater the concentration of molecules the gas has, the more power it will deliver to the engine. Dick scooped up a water pipe and some tubular handrails. The hot gas will run through this series of pipes, which will be mounted on the back of the truck. When air hits the radiator, the temperature of the gas should drop rapidly. The construction is progressing well, and the guys now need to start thinking fuel. They need a load of old wood, and they know just where to get it.
I thought you planted trees instead of cutting them down.
We do, but we've got to look after them once they're planted, and this bough's rotten, so we've got to take it out.
But what we're going to do for you, we're going to need some wood, but not this. Have you got any wood that you cut down last year?
Season, because we're going to burn really well.
We've got some nice big logs in the yard. Yeah, we made them well.
In the meantime, do you want a hand with this?
Yeah, that would be great, guys.
We'll wait till there's
If you
something.
can follow me.
Yeah. You see?
You're right at the back.
Yeah.
We'll sweeten the path for you as well.
Is this the sort of stuff you're looking for?
Yeah, dry seasoned wood is ideal.
Brilliant, mate. If we just cut in the short lengths, about this sort of length, yeah, we can split it. That'll be brilliant.
Okay, that's fantastic. What exactly are you using it for?
We have a cunning plan. Trust us.
Dick, let's just get this away.
Trust
Come
us.
on,
Go
we've
on,
got a
yeah.
chainsaw. Follow me.
Yeah.
Dick and Jem are convinced that once they convert the pickup to run on their freshly chopped fuel, it will be much less polluting. But just how dirty is their vehicle in its present state? They're all set up to run a DIY emissions test.
Where's my exhaust pipe?
A standard internal combustion engine emits carbon dioxide, sulfur, nitrogen compounds, and long-chain hydrocarbons. They're all bad news for us and the planet.
Right, pump on. Call them out.
OK, carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
1.86% by volume.
Right.
Carbon dioxide, 13.5% by volume. Hydrocarbons,
Yep.
26 parts per million.
Dick and Jem are determined to green up this pickup. So it's goodbye to that petrol tank, and it's farewell to that nasty cocktail of chemicals.
And then we can cool it in the radiator.
But Jem is still worried about running wood gas through the engine. He's not sure the cyclone filter will clean out all of the soot and ash impurities.
I think at this point, it would still be folly to chuck it straight into the engine.
So it's time for a fine filter.
Yeah, we don't want it to restrict the flow too much. I mean, the gas is used to going through a pipe about this size.
Yeah.
So if we have a filter about this size, then hopefully all the little holes will add up to the same sort of area.
So we're talking about a big, fine filter.
Yeah, big. I think everything chunky.
A fine filter is another crucial element towards making up their gasworks on wheels. Dick needs something chunky, and he's bagged the last big bit of scrap. It's an old boiler expansion tank. Gas will flow through the cylinder and pass through a grill. The grill will support a layer of clay pellets which should clean out the small particles of soot and ash remaining in the gas. This fine filter may need regular cleaning, and Dick's fitting a screw top to ensure quick and easy access. As the sun sets, the wood-burning gasifier is really starting to shape up. It's late in the day now, but Jem decides to reveal a few more of his nagging doubts. The gas they're making will contain substantial amounts of hydrogen. It's the lightest element, but it's also one of the most flammable.
My abiding memory of hydrogen and transport is when they used to use it for Zeppelins.
Yeah, that wasn't very clever, was it?
No.
Dick's in the dark. He doesn't know the hydrogen balloon contains a detonator, and Jem's all set to fire.
I just wanted to show you what's going on in my head, because this is the vision I've got of when it all goes wrong. Watch. Whoa! Oh!
Whoa! We really need a safety mechanism.
Yeah. You don't want that going off in the back of your head.
It's a deafening wake-up call. If the planet mechanics can't find a way of defusing their travelling bomb, they'll need to abort this mission. With no ready solution to their explosive issue, Dick and Jem decide to get on with the much more straightforward task of fitting together their gasifier.
Careful that end. Got it?
First up, it's on with the producer.
Pop it over the other side, somewhere out of the way.
Lightweight radiator. Cyclone filter.
Next up, it's Dick's chunky fine filter.
No, I'll come down and give you a hand.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Still room for a tree there, I reckon.
The back of the pickup is getting quite crowded, but now it's on with the fun part, snapping together all the pieces of their gasifier jigsaw.
And that's nice, because that's just a simple one at this end.
All the water goes out into the engine.
Jem falls in to slot in the last piece.
Finally we've got a pipe to take all our clean, cool gas to the front of the car. Are you there? Does that sit?
Down we come.
Oh,
That is gorgeous, mate.
Yes.
That is seriously bespoke.
It couldn't
Look at
be
it.
much more bespoke. OK, so now gas has been made, filtered, cooled, filtered again, all the way to here.
Right, and when it gets to this point, we need to join that pipe to this pipe, all right?
Easy.
And from there, it's going up and into the engine. Well, not quite solid yet. And then we put it into our mixer.
Look at that mixer.
The mixer is the only modification to the engine. It replaces the carburettor. Gas and air are sucked into the mixer and then enter the engine by moving the throttle valve. Wood gas often varies in quality. An air intake valve must be frequently adjusted to ensure the air-gas mix entering the engine gives optimal performance. This valve is connected to a control attached to the gear stick. But first, there's just the small matter of fueling her up. Jem loads up the producer with a sack full of barbecue charcoal. This should be just enough to get the fire going. And after a quick poke down in the combustion zone, it's in with a batch of finely cut seasoned wood chips.
Dick,
Yeah.
at this end, I think we're ready to start burning wood.
At this end, we're ready to see if it runs on wood gas.
Do you reckon with all this weight on it, one person could push it on their own?
I would think so.
Well, in which case, I'm driving, you're pushing. Go on, then.
I'll drive tomorrow, mate. I don't mind.
Come on, I'll take the handbrake off for you.
You ready?
Yep. Yep, up you go. Pull.
There's an air of quiet anticipation. It's the moment Dick and Jem have been waiting for. It's time to fire up the woody beast. Dick pushes a fiery rag into the combustion zone. He needs to get the charcoal burning. Jem's using a fan to blow air in to feed the fire. It's just too much air and he's killed the flames.
Right, a little bit less air than that then, yeah?
Jem tries a more subtle approach. It's becoming clear that a wood-burning car may not be the top choice vehicle for a quick getaway.
Oh, that's looking good. Looking good, Jem. It's getting warm.
They finally got a strong flame and Jem attaches the air hose to ventilate the fire.
We've got some heat.
It's looking and feeling good. The combustion zone is definitely starting to heat up.
Oh, we've got smoke coming out the top, mate.
Their patience is paying off. Smoke and gas are now streaming out of the producer.
When that gets going a little... Oh,
The Planet Mechanics' spirits are rising. There's smoke, but will there be fire?
you reckon that's combustible gas yet? Oh, maybe not.
God, let's have a go from up here.
Go. Get your head down.
Yeah.
After days of hard labour, Dick and Jem have finally struck
Amazing.
gas.
Well, closing it down now.
I think.
Yeah, go on. What? We don't know. Let's find out what happens.
You ready?
The big question now is, can the gas travel right through the system to the front of the pickup?
Hey, we got smoke.
At the front.
But any smoke should have been cleaned out by their filters. If it's going to fire up the engine, this should be a mix of vapour and flammable gas. There's a very quick way to find out.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's see what happens. Oh! That's gas! That's brilliant! Look at that!
It's such a good blue colour as well.
It's the result they need. That bright blue flame indicates it's pure gas, and their double filtration system has done the job.
Do you think we should now divert it into the engine?
Let's see if we can start it.
Yeah, and get this thing into town.
Yes! Right, okay, if I...
Getting a wood-powered car ready for the road clearly takes some planning. But now Dick and Jem face the supreme test. Can they convince the pickup's engine to accept their gas?
You want to try turning the key? Let me get in there.
The biggest hurdle could be getting that crucial gas-to-air ratio just right.
Now the mixture. We've got the mixture to adjust. This is really quite exciting.
Go on,
You ready?
then.
Here we go.
And again.
We'll give it a longer blast. Here we go.
I bet there's a technique to driving these things. I bet there's like an experienced wood gas person would fire it right up and go, oh, of course, you just drop that in there and... Do you want to try changing the valve position?
Okay, so we've got the
Dick
valve.
adjusts the valve and adds a little more air into the mix.
That's a bit more like it. Oh!
That's so close!
And again, and again.
But the engine just won't catch.
It so nearly went. Yeah.
It's a very frustrating end to a very long day. They've made pure gas and it's flowing well through the system. But there seems to be a dark art to starting up a wood-burning car that they just can't master.
There's nothing on the battery. Let's have a look. You like this?
With the Trees for Cities open day in just 48 hours' time, and with no plan B in place, it looks as if Dick and Jem's plan for a wood-powered vehicle may have burnt itself out.
Okay, Jem, tickle the accelerator, mate.
Yeah.
After a good night's sleep, it's time for some clear thinking. Their gas is pure, but is it good enough to run the engine? Or is there some special technique to getting that all-important air-to-gas mix just right?
Getting that adjustment.
Yeah. Right, time is against us. We are in a situation where it's so close, but we just can't keep it alive.
Do you know what I think we need? We need an 85-year-old Swedish tractor engineer who used to make these things in a war. That's what we need, Dick.
Right, we're short of those. But what I can do, I'll try and get onto some of the contacts in Sweden. Somebody must have been in this situation before.
Yeah, because we just haven't got time.
I'll make some phone calls, mate.
Cheers.
If there's anyone likely to get a gas-powered car moving, the chances are that they live in Sweden. After a few calls, Dick tracks down a young engineer called Johan Linnell. Johan has not only built his very own wood-powered car, during those long, dark Swedish nights, he's clearly mastered the fine art of getting it up and running. When he hears of Dick and Jem's predicament, he's keen to come and lend a helping hand. An SOS to Sweden is a desperate measure, but even if they can get the vehicle going, there's still one critical safety issue that needs sorting out. The Planet mechanics realise that driving a vehicle through central London with a burner full of explosive gases is a non-starter. The consequences could be devastating. Jem has made a major modification to the lid of the producer. There's only one way to test its effectiveness, so he's parked the pickup in a remote location.
I think this'll do it. What I've got is a catch here, and that pulls that spring like that, and then that's hard on there, but in the event of an explosion, there's enough give in that spring that the lid can lift a little bit and the hot gases can vent out without rupturing something in the system.
We have to prove that your safety valve works.
Which is why I've got a big bag of explosive gas in there, and we are going to retreat to a safe distance and watch it go.
The bag of hydrogen will simulate what could happen in the event of an explosion. But if Jem's safety valve fails, it could be a spectacular end to Project Woodcar.
This has to work, doesn't it?
Well, if it doesn't, we've broken our truck. But then if it doesn't, we couldn't give it to them anyway. That was a bang! And it worked.
It worked, mate. All the gas came out the side, didn't it? Look
Oh, that's going back down. Off.
at that. Okay.
Jem's safety valve is a complete success. But there is still the huge problem of actually getting the wood-powered car out on the open road. It's now late afternoon, and the guys have towed the vehicle back to the farmyard. The pickup needs to be delivered in the morning, but help may finally be at hand.
Hi, Dick.
Johan! Good
Hi,
to see
how
you,
you
mate. Good to see
doing?
you. This is Jem.
Hi.
Have a look at the beast.
Wow, what a beauty.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
that's the producer,
Yeah.
cyclone filter, radiator, fine filter, and off to the engine.
Great.
It's kind of all right. It seems to be making flammable gas.
Yeah.
It is making gas. It's getting all the way through. It does burn.
But you
just we
can't really start it.
But can't get the engine to stay alive.
No, it does. You get like, vroom, and it goes, and then it dies again.
Nice again, yeah. Well, it looks like a really good system, so we're gonna get it started. No
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Johan seems to like what he's seeing, and it looks like their system has earned a Scandinavian seal of approval. Maybe it's because this Swedish wood gas master has come armed with a secret weapon.
Look at that front!
Look at them!
Do you want to try them?
Yeah.
Stick it
Wait, it's a sparkler.
Blow.
Gotta connect that up.
It's soon clear that Dick and Jem are in very capable hands, and within seconds, the burner is up and running.
Look at that! Smoke straight out the top. Very good. Yeah, that's impressive.
Right, should we go and have a look under
Okay,
the,
Mr. Linnell, we're making gas. You happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Thing. That's nice gas.
Do you mind if I start it?
Go! Good grief. Right, do you mind if I watch? Right.
But this is the real test. Johan has been sounding supremely confident, but has he now met his match? It's not sounding good. Has Johan made a wasted trip?
This is kind of where we were,
Yeah.
except it does fire occasionally. It'll just vroom.
No, it doesn't fire at all.
Does it take time to does the gas need to get better
But then he
quality?
remembers something.
Oh, we haven't switched off the fan, right?
The fan blows air to get the fire started. But because it's still running, it's stopping the engine sucking gas through the system.
Fan's off. Now it's sucking it through.
With the fan off, can Johan finally get some life out of this wood guzzler?
Oh, now it comes.
But it's a false alarm.
Timing now, team. Okay,
Johan
let's
decides
go.
to check the engine setup.
Okay.
He knows wood gas burns at a different rate to petrol vapor. He instructs Dig to make some quick adjustments to the ignition timing.
Okay. That's as far as we can go. Happy?
Yep.
But is it the right call?
Done?
And that's it. We
Yeah.
can just try it again.
Yeah.
It's these subtleties, you could never.
That's the hand I'm watching.
Johan listens to the subtle changes in the engine's tick-over. He responds to the slight variations with gentle adjustments to the mixer.
Now when it starts, I give it slightly more.
Oh, so close!
Oh, you almost got a round of applause.
Go for it! He's just teasing it. Come on! Yes! That's officially running, isn't it?
Want to go for a ride?
And he's done it. They can't wait to take this wood-burning beauty for a spin.
Yes! Look at that!
It's all very well for a wood gas expert to be able to drive the truck. Unless Trees for Cities plan to recruit a team of Swedish drivers, it's clearly a technique that needs to be passed on.
There's not many vehicles that are warmer in the back than the front.
So, we want to learn how to drive.
Yeah, what's the secret?
There are 3 golden rules that you have to use when you drive a wood gas car. Always keep high revs.
Right.
Use low gears. And third, hit bumps and run fast.
Hit bump. That's what happened on the way down here.
Yeah, to make the wood come down into the combustion zone.
It's just shaking the wood down.
I felt that. I thought you were just driving badly, mate. That's all.
Yeah, no, poor bum.
All right, then, all right. Give
Okay.
us a go, give us a go.
Yeah, we're gonna have a go. My turn?
Right.
Yeah, go on, Dick.
Okay.
Turn the engine off. Turn it
No!
off. Yeah, you've got to start
Yeah,
it.
you got to take it from the beginning.
What?
Start
No,
it.
just push down that button.
Start
There
it
you
the
go.
hard part.
So we got.
It's just stopped at all. After all, okay, so...
Dick's in the hot seat.
That's, yeah, a little bit of air in.
Crank the engine.
Can he get the mixture right and breathe life into the engine?
A little bit more. There you go. Running.
Yes! Hit a bump.
Hit a bump.
Here we go.
Under the watchful eye of Johan, the learner drivers are put through their paces.
Bump.
Good.
While the guys master the driving, Johan stokes the fuel. They must keep the revs high. This allows the engine to suck up more air to keep a strong fire going in the producer. Because they can't get into high gear, the truck's speed should be limited. But that doesn't seem to be affecting these guys. It's a slightly unconventional driving test, but then this is certainly no ordinary car.
Wow.
Johan, thank you.
Thank you, mate. That was brilliant.
It's been a pleasure to be here. It's so fun to see that you're taking this old technology and introduced it again.
Nick, it's ready for London. We're ready for London. Come on, let's hit the city.
Take care.
Yeah,
Catch
see
you
you
later.
London. Bye.
Take care.
Both car and drivers have managed well in the sedate confines of the car park. But now for the real challenge. How will they cope with the congested streets of the capital? It's dusk before Dick and Jem make it into central London. The wood-powered pickup has to go through its paces in the evening rush hour. They take Tower Bridge in their stride. Everything's going to plan and they have plenty of fuel. Incredibly, the car will run for about 150 kilometers on a couple of sacks of wood before it needs to be topped up. The Planet mechanics glide through Parliament Square before heading into the centre of the West End. It's all going well, but as they approach Piccadilly Circus, there's a problem. The engine is running out of gas. Amazingly, it seems the streets of central London are just too smooth for this car.
Hurry up, Jem!
Dick hasn't hit any bumps, and fresh wood is not dropping down into the combustion zone.
Come on, Jem!
It's a swift repair job, but now Dick has stalled the engine.
Oh, no.
It's not a great place to break down, and Dick must remember Johan's instructions. Dick's on the spot, but finally he's off. And now they've attracted the attention of the law.
Just about gets us round the place.
But this big city copper seems to have seen everything and is happy to wave them on their way. Dick and Jem's wood-powered car has come through with flying colours. It's delivery day. The car excelled on its test run, but before handing it over to Trees for Cities, Dick and Jem want to find out whether their machine really is green.
Do you want to insert the probe into the exhaust pipe, sir? We're taking readings. Here we go. What are we going to get this time?
I don't know. It's not saying anything now.
It's readings.
They nervously await the results.
Like,
Oh! Carbon monoxide is down, sir.
carbon monoxide
Look
down.
at the hydrocarbons are down.
That's the ones I want to get rid of.
Right, okay, let's print those results.
It's fantastic news. The exhaust from their wood-burning truck produces 50% less poisonous carbon monoxide and 26 times less hydrocarbons now they've thrown away the petrol tank.
Look at this.
Wow, there's hardly anything coming out.
Back in London, the Trees for Cities Open Day is getting into full swing. While teams of volunteers get on with planting a few more of those 1 million new trees, Graham Simmons is nervously awaiting the delivery of his new vehicle. Graham wanted green, but he probably didn't expect to see something like this steaming towards him. What is clear is that Graham and his team have never seen anything like this.
Good to see you, mate. Yeah, that's what do you think?
Absolutely brilliant.
That's the fuel. That's the fuel.
That's the fuel, is it? It's fantastic. It's going to be able to move trees around and all that sort of stuff.
It's got all the power there.
But the beauty is, nice clean emissions, carbon neutral.
I was going to say, you can't smell, there's no kind of smell of carbon monoxide.
There is no fossil fuels, Rob. But the magic is you put wood in there and this goes forward. Talking about going, it's revved up, it's got a job to do. You got some trees to stick in it or something?
Yeah.
With a full load on the back, the new green addition to the Trees for Cities vehicle fleet is off on its first job. And what better way to mark another successful mission than by planting a brand new tree for London?
Okay, how long will that be there for?
Good few hundred years, I'd say.
Not bad, is it?
That's it, the start of the sustainable fuel forest.
Yeah. This is the first Planet Mechanics tree, and we think there'll be many more.
Dick,
Time to hand it over.
Thank you. That is fantastic.
It's unlikely that wood-burning trucks will ever be as popular as they were in the 1940s. But given the steady climb in oil prices and the growing demand for alternative eco-friendly vehicles, who knows? Maybe the Planet Mechanics will light a fire with their fantastic carbon-neutral wood-burning gasifier.